Hello friends, I hope you are fine now. Friends, in last session I discussed about zero coupon bonds. The term zero coupon bonds indicates the bonds issued by corporates or other issuers at discount and will be redeemed at par or at a face value, meaning thereby there will be no payment of periodical interest in case of zero coupon bonds. The difference between issue price and the redemption value is the return earned by the investor on their respective investment. Now, in today's session, I would like to discuss two more instruments of money market which are there in your syllabus. Number one, treasury bills. It is also known as T-bills. Friends, importantly, treasury bills are the money market instrument issued by government. Friends, when government is in need of funds and the funding requirement is for a short term, then in order to satisfy the funding requirement, government can issue treasury bills or T-bills. T-bills or treasury bills are like zero coupon bonds. Treasury bills are issued at discount and redeemed at par. So again, similar to zero coupon bonds, in treasury bills also there will be no periodical payment of interest, and the difference between issue price and redemption value is the return earned by the investor. This type of instruments are issued by government, maybe a state government or a central government, but largely by central government. Treasury bills can be issued, or rather treasury bills are issued by government through RBI, Reserve Bank of India, on every Wednesday or every Friday through public auction will issue treasury bills as per the instruction of government. Friends, as I mentioned earlier, this type of instruments are money market instrument and issued for short term. At present, according to RBI guidelines, the treasury bills can be issued for 91 days, 182 days or 364 days, meaning thereby the maximum term of a treasury bill is 364 days. And as we all know that most of the instruments of the money market are having term less than 1 year. Friends, this type of instrument are a debt instrument and gives assurance of repayment. Now, having said this, RBI normally, as per the instruction of government, invites quotation from the public. Let's say if the face value is 100 rupee, I am assuming the treasury bills are having face value of rupee 100. So on every Wednesday and every Friday, as per the instruction of government, RBI announce public auction. It will invite public to quote the price at which they are ready to purchase. Someone may quote, let's say, 98 rupee, someone may quote 99 rupee, someone may quote 92 rupee. Then the price at which highest bids are received will be declared as issued price. For example, let's say at 98.50 highest bids are received, then RBI will announce 98.50 as the issue price. Investor have to pay 98.50 rupee to purchase one treasury bill. Let's say the tenure of the treasury bill is 364 days. So during the tenure of 364 days, government will not pay single rupee as interest. After the end of tenure, that is after 364 days, government will pay 100 rupee per treasury bill. So if being investor you have purchased one treasury bill at 98.50 rupee, then you will get 100 rupee. So 1 rupee 50 paisa that you have earned is nothing but the return generated through this investment. Issued price was 98.50 and the redemption price is 100, that is face value or par value. So the difference between issued price 98.50 and the redemption value 100 is the return earned by the investor. This is a typical instrument issued by government through RBI. So this is one of the instrument of money market which I would like to discuss today. Friends, normally in treasury bill the investor includes bank and a financial institution. Retail investor or a small investor hardly invest in a treasury bills. Most of the investor, and in most of the cases the investment will be by bank or a financial institution. This is because it requires a huge investment. If you have invested, let's say अभी जो मैंने एग्जाम्पल दिया, in my example the issue price was 98.50, but in practical life the issue price ranging from 99.25 paisa to 99.80 paisa. So hardly you will get 0.20 paisa or 0.75 paisa per treasury bill. So for investor और जो रिटेल इन्वेस्टर है उनके लिए उतना रिटर्न उनको दिखाई नहीं देगा in terms of money. हाँ, but obvious in terms of percentage I do agree. आप रिटर्न परसेंटेज कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. You may earn 5%, 10% depending upon the issue price and the redemption value. So in most of the case the investment is by bank or a financial institutions. Now the next point for discussion, that is commercial paper. Friends, a commercial paper is again a money market instrument issued to fulfill the short-term requirement. Normally, commercial paper is the negotiable instrument, unsecured in nature, issued by Indian corporates or a financial institutions. Friends, in a case where Indian corporates, let's say there's an Indian company which needs fund for a short term, then it can issue commercial paper. It is almost similar to equity shares or debenture or other financial instrument. Like equity shares or a debenture, commercial papers are also issued to manage or to fulfill the funding requirement. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's a negotiable instrument. So, any investor who have purchased the commercial paper can transfer it to other without any restriction. Number 2, commercial paper can be issued by corporates and a financial institution. So the next question that comes in my mind is, can any corporate issue commercial paper? Answer is no. According to RBI guidelines, in order to issue commercial paper, corporate needs to fulfill some conditions. The conditions include number 1, the company must have minimum net worth of rupee 4 crore as per their last audited balance sheet. सो पहला रिक्वायरमेंट है, कोई भी कंपनी, अगर आज मैंने कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेट किया और इच्छा हुई कि कॉमर्शियल पेपर इश्यू करना है, आई कांट डू दैट। इफ आई वांट टू, if a company wants to issue commercial paper, it needs to ensure eligibility criteria or fulfillment of eligibility criteria. The first eligibility criteria is the requirement of net worth. You need to check your balance sheet, and that too also last audited balance sheet. Calculate the net worth. If the net worth is at least rupee 4 crore, then you can issue commercial paper. Condition number 2, you have to maintain current ratio as per the requirement of RBI. Friends, RBI through notification will mention the requirement of current ratio, and the current ratio of your company must be equal to or more than the minimum requirement. Number 3, if company wants to issue commercial paper, it has to ensure that the company is being sanctioned working capital loan by the bank or a financial institution, meaning thereby company have already approached bank or a financial institution for a working capital requirement. They have given or submitted papers, and bank and a financial institutions have approved, have sanctioned their loan. So बैंक और फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन ने अगर आपके फाइनेंशियल्स को स्टडी किया हुआ है और कोई बैंक या फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन आपको वर्किंग कैपिटल लोन देने के लिए तैयार है, तो ही आप कॉमर्शियल पेपर इश्यू कर सकते हैं, अदरवाइज नॉट. एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, इन केस ऑफ कॉमर्शियल पेपर इश्यू you need to obtain credit rating. I have already discussed about the credit rating in debt instrument. It is mandatory for a issuer to obtain credit rating. Now ये eligibility criteria हुआ. These are the conditions needs to be complied with by any corporate if it wants to issue commercial paper. As far as denomination is concerned, it is mandatory to denominate commercial paper for rupee 5 lakh and a multiple thereof. So the minimum investment is a 5 lakh rupee. If company wants to issue commercial paper, the minimum value that can be fixed by company is 5 lakh rupee. You have to invest 5 lakh rupee. You can't invest lower than rupee 5 lakh, less than rupee 5 lakh. Then as far as tenure is concerned, it is mandatory to have a minimum tenure of 7 days. According to RBI guidelines, no commercial paper can mature before 7 days. Regarding maximum tenure, the RBI regulation is a silent. Friends, it depends upon the approval given by the credit rating agencies. So minimum tenure is 7 days. Maximum, that depends upon the conditions attached with the credit rating. Then the next concept is, or the next is, commercial paper can be issued either in a physical form or in a dematerialized form. It is nowhere it is mandatory for a company to issue commercial paper in depository form. It is up to the company whether to issue commercial paper in a physical form or in a depository form. Normally, again, commercial paper are also similar to zero coupon bonds. They are issued at discount and redeemed at par. So commercial paper are normally one of the easiest method that can be adopted by Indian corporates to satisfy its short-term funding requirement. So friends, these are two instruments of money market which I wanted to discuss with you people in today's session. Number one, treasury bill. The treasury bills are the negotiable instrument issued by government for a short-term funding requirement. And number two, commercial paper, the unsecured negotiable instrument issued by Indian corporates or a financial institution to fulfill their short-term funding requirement. I hope you are now able to understand what is commercial paper and what is treasury bills. In case of any query, you can WhatsApp me or you can email me. Till then, friends, stay at home, be safe, and ensure safety of your family. Thank you.